And I believe we are live. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Obscure and Unscripted. Got a really cool show going on tonight. As usual, I'm Joe, your one host. We got Danny, the other awesome host, and our special guest, Cig Neutron, who is you guys are going to know from SyFy's Face Off, Season 7 runner-up, Season 11 winner. Is that correct?
Yep.
Right on. So first of all, thank you for joining us. This is really cool. Very excited to have you on. Let me pull up a picture so everybody knows what's going on. There it is. Face Off All Stars. How exciting was that?
It was awesome. It was really cool to come back after season 7, and pretty much it was kind of tough too, because pretty much everybody on the show of All Stars, we're all good friends, and we hang out and we work together. And so any elimination was actually the first elimination. I was crying every time that somebody had to go, because it's your friends and you care about these people, and it was tough, but it was also awesome.
Very cool. I know Danny has a laundry. She's so excited. She has a laundry list of questions that she wants to ask. So I'm going to let her chime in if I may.
Right on.
My first question for you is where are you from, and kind of what got your interest into special effects to begin with?
So originally from Newcastle, Indiana, which is just south of Muncie. A lot of people seem to know what Muncie, Indiana is. I don't know why, but so yeah, and then I moved out to LA. I don't know. I just always been a big fan of horror films, and I kind of think the real world is really boring. So I just really like to bring things that don't exist to life, and I think Chainsaw and Dave from Summer School, those were my idols as a kid. They were just geeky effects dudes in high school that were if you've ever seen the film, and they totally, I don't know, they were my inspiration. I was I want to be just like those guys. They're so cool. And then I watched the film as an adult and I was oh, those are actually the geeky dudes, but that's okay.
How did you get on Face Off? How did you come across the series?
So I actually auditioned for season 2 in person, and I was really shy, and I think I was trying to gauge what they wanted or something. I don't know. I wasn't really being myself. I was just kind of and so they didn't take me. And then season 7 came around, and I was you know what? Okay, I'll try again. So I made the most ridiculous video, submission video ever. It was sort of shot documentary style, and I just played all the characters talking about me. Which is, and I was they're either going to love this or they're going to hate it. And apparently they loved it. So it got me on the show.
That is so awesome. How long had you been doing special effects before you auditioned?
So I graduated in 2009 from the Tom Savini school. So, and then I moved straight out to LA, and man, what year was it? 2016? Probably around 10 years, I guess, ish, maybe. No. I don't know. I'm bad at numbers.
I hear a Journey song coming on, Just a Small Town Boy.
I didn't realize that you had gone to Tom Savini school. That is incredible. I'm a ridiculously huge fan of Tom, so that's amazing.
Yeah, it was a good time. I learned a lot there.
So one thing I'm curious about is I've spoken with reality stars, and I'm sorry to call you that, but you are a reality show star. So I'm curious about a little bit of the background on Face Off. I don't know if you can discuss it or not. Are you guys in dorm rooms? Are you stuck there the whole time during filming? Are you engaged in the outside world while you're there?
Yeah, no, they call it the bubble. You can't even have photos of your family or anything. They'll take anything. We weren't able to have pens or paper because they didn't want us designing on our off time. And yeah, no contact with the outside world. We were in a pretty awesome house, and they got us all the food we could ever ask for. And it was we had board games and things, but it was kind of like being in prison a little bit.
Wow. I'm looking at some of the comments, and one thing we do on here at Cig is we pull up comments from people watching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Dustin Blankenship. I'm not sure if you know him or not. He's also in the special effects and makeup business. I'm not quite sure what to make of this.
I don't know Morse code. But boop, 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 boop. I don't know.
Fair enough. We got Sharon saying hi, Cig.
Oh, that's my mom.
Oh, is that?
Yep.
Hi, Cig's mom.
Yeah, the
Thank you for joining us. That's really cool.
Like, speaking of being like cooped up on a reality show, it had been like 6 years since I saw my mom, and they on season 7 they surprised us, and we came home one day, and then she was there. They flew her out, and yeah, so it's like anytime I watch reality television and they get towards the end and they bring their families on, I like just straight up just start bawling because like I know how tough it was. Like it was actually like legitimately emotional to like be kept away from everybody that you love, and then like just to see them, like it was yeah. So that always gets me. It pulls on my heartstrings.
We got Scott. Scott saying, Cig, great to see you on. You've done some insane work, but I loved your offering on Facebook or Face Off Facebook. Good God, with your Serpent Soldier.
Right on.
That was that picture? I don't know if I have that picture or not. I pulled some pictures, did a little Facebook stalking also, and got some pictures. It's part of the job. Sorry.
G.I. Joe challenge. That was a good one. And you know, they actually like. For the most part, everything that airs on the show is pretty much how it happened. But it seemed on that challenge, they seemed to edit it to make it look like I did like a hybrid of a reptile or something. But actually, it was just armor because I don't know. I'm a big fan of G.I. Joe, and there's not really any hybrids in there. And a lot of people went like snake-human hybrid, but I don't think that was the point of the challenge. But then I was really sad that they edited it to make it look like I did that too. And I was like, but that's not what I did.
Nice. I'm looking over my pictures. Danny, please feel free to ask a question or two while I do that, because I got a couple of doozies that may take them off guard.
I definitely have a really big question for you. What are your viewpoints on CGI?
You know, it's kind of like with ZBrush, like digital sculpting and 3D printing and stuff. It's like you can't really like deny progress in technology. I'm like, at heart, I'm a practical effects guy. And I do believe that's truly the best way to, you know, it for film, I think is practical. But also, I think mixing CGI and practical effects is like, that's where the future is going. And I think it's like a really great way to do it. I mean, I'm not like, I hate like full CGI monsters, but like, I don't know, using like green screen technology or something to pull off like really fun gore practical effects. Like that's always what we're just creative problem solvers. That's what we had to figure out, like, okay, we need this person to get decapitated in this way and it needs to look this way. How could you do that? You know, and it's like, that's what's so fun about being an effects artist is like, okay, let me think about how we can do this and, you know, like fake walls and perspective and things. But now we have CGI that, you know, it's just another tool, I think.
That's awesome. I think that was put perfectly. That's exactly what I think. I love that. Except for I don't have the talent that you do, so I'm artistically challenged. Is there a horror movie that really influenced you the most or stood out to you growing up?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much ask any effects artist and they always say The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. And I mean, like, you go back and watch it and it stands up today. It's like the stuff that they were doing in that film was like mind-blowing. And yeah, I would have to say that film was like really like blew my mind. And also Pumpkinhead, because like as far as I remember as a kid, that was the first time I saw like the monster in its complete entirety. Because like usually, you know, like monsters are puppeteers, so you got guys off the screen or something. But then you see this dude, he's all like giant and like got these crazy legs and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. And also the guy that you think is the main character, the cool guy with the red headband, he's the first dude to get killed. And I'm just like, oh my God, where's this movie going after this? The coolest dude just died. So it was like super scary to me.
Well, you did an incredible job on Utopian Facade. I mean, how cool was it to get to work on that, being a John Carpenter fan?
That was super awesome. Yeah, I was geeking out pretty hard on that. But actually, on that shoot, I just did wardrobe because I was kind of I that had like something else going on. And actually, my friends Chris Marchwinski, Ian Cromer, and Ian Cromer was also on Face Off, and oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Oh my God, man, I'm totally blanking on. Well, yeah, they actually did all the work, so, which was pretty rad. But it was cool to be there and be a part of it.
Very cool. I'm going to bring it.
Sorry, that was yeah. Bernie Wrightson's son, John Wrightson was yes. Sorry, got it.
I'm going to bring up a picture just because I think it's a cool picture.
I hope it's a horribly embarrassing photo.
It may be. It very well may be, but I still think it's cool as hell.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not embarrassing, but that's the Doombox stereo chainsaw.
Talk to us about that.
So me and Randy Rodill, she's a photographer, a costume maker. We always collaborate. I always put her in the makeups, and she like helps. She makes like wardrobe and stuff. But we made a book called Bizarro Go-Go, which was just basically we just wanted to make the most random photo book ever made. With just we made up our own magazine covers, movie posters, advertisements for fake products, and the Doombox stereo chainsaw was one of the products that we came up with. And so yeah, just bought this boombox at Goodwill and like painted and added chainsaw elements to it. We had a good fun.
Cool as hell, personally. That was awesome. So I'm gonna pull up some of your creations. And do you have a favorite of all time when you were on the show?
It's tough, but I think Big Tuna was like, love that guy. And then maybe Manny Minotauri or Murky the Clown, possibly. It's pretty much like if I meet anyone like random and they know who I am, they always bring up Murky the Darkwater Clown. I think that was like really resonated with a lot of people. And yeah, that truly was like, because I was like, what am I going to do? Like, they tricked us into like taking a survey and had all these questions that didn't matter. And then one of the questions was, what was your childhood fear? And you had to write 3. And then they actually picked from that. So they gave us this random, like, here, we just need.
Oh, I dropped them out. Hold up, Cig, hold up. Mayday, mayday, I hit the wrong button.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're going to kill the host. He hit the wrong button. I thought I was getting rid of the picture, and I got rid of you. Oh, rookie mistakes. No, sorry.
That's okay. But yeah, they tricked us by taking a survey. And so that was actually legitimately everybody's childhood fear. And yeah, I just used to have these nightmares of these like creepy, sinewy, skeletal people in like black tarry water, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make that and then just put clown makeup on it. So yeah, that was actually the creatures I used to see in my nightmares. I feel like it was kind of heavily influenced by Stephen Gammell's artwork and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I think that just the art in that like really like stuck with me, like super scary.
Oh, that thing scared the hell out of me. I'm not even gonna lie. That was so creepy. For me, it was the second chumming. That was like, that one was so cool.
I got behind on comments, and Scott is saying that's my boom saw. So.
There are many like it, but this one's mine.
Nice. All right. So I am looking other things over, and one thing I saw, and I thought it was a kick-ass picture of you and this gentleman here.
Yeah, that was a good time. The Monster Palooza.
Is that where that was at, Monster Palooza? I mean, how cool was it to hang with him?
Yeah, actually, Glenn is one of my favorite judges. I think in the earlier seasons, he sort of got like cast as sort of the Simon Cowell, like the more like the meaner judge. But actually, like it couldn't be further from the truth. Like he's a good dude. And actually, after All-Star season, I worked at Alchemy for a while on Star Trek Discovery, painting Klingons. So
very cool.
Yeah. And Alchemy is Neville Page and Glenn Hetrick's effects company.
Right on. For some reason, the comments are coming up slower and slower. So it's not me. It may be the program, but Troy's saying it's such a shame that they replaced those illustrations in the new books.
Yeah, like I said, that's one of the parts that made that like so scary is the art.
Right on. Danny, I'm looking over some pictures, and again, I know you have a laundry list. What do you got going on over there?
What do you think is the most difficult part of special effects? Like, what is most challenging for you?
I'd say mold making. It's really not my favorite thing to do. It's very like technical thing. I guess I just don't have the patience for it. I don't know. So, yeah, mold making is the bane of my existence, and when it comes to effects.
If you could work on like a dream project, who would you work with?
I'm a big fan of like Japanese splatter films. And again, I'm going to blank on the name, but like the director of Hell Driver, Meatball Machine, Machine Girl. There's like two guys that the effects guy that actually worked on like Meatball Machine is that he was like, you know what, I'm going to make my own movies. So then he just started making like really over the top, ridiculous, gory splatter films. Hell Driver is one of my favorite films of all time. She has a chainsaw katana, which is pretty awesome.
So those are indie films, I'm assuming, and those actually sound great.
Yeah, I think I've worked on big like Hollywood movies, and like I feel blessed and like I'm grateful to have worked on those. But the bigger movies that are coming out today, I feel like they're just making movies to make money. They're not really making a movie to try to make a great film. And I just I prefer to work on the smaller budget stuff that actually has like soul to me.
I've got people chiming in. Takashi Mike.
Oh, Takashi Miike, yeah, he did like Gozu, Audition. Yeah, he's super cool. But Nishimura, there it is. Yes, that's the one.
And we got Scott saying it's a major Asian horror nut. Right on. And I skipped over Dustin's comment. I'm assuming he's saying V. Neil is the hard one.
She's no nonsense. Yeah. The judging sections actually go on for much longer than you see. Like we're standing up there for like hours and they say a lot more, but I understand you got to like condense, I don't know, like 16 people's story into one episode, like 146 minutes of television or something. So sometimes they have to cut stuff out, but.
So are they like hardcore critiquing, picking out every little tiny thing and just like,
Yeah, I think on the All-Star seasons they were a lot more tough on us because we'd already been there once. But all in all, like they understand that it's just a ridiculously impossible deadline. Like nobody, like what we do in 3 days takes like 3 months to do in real life, and you have a whole team of people doing each part of the process. But like on Face Off, we're the concept designers or the sculptors, we're the mold makers, and it's like the wardrobe designers, like, well, there's a whole wardrobe team, but you usually like sketch out what you need for wardrobe and they do their best to find it. But then they're on their own kind of little face-off trip too, because they have to find all of that stuff overnight. And, for like I said, like 16 people and 16 different characters and things. So we had some good shadow teams.
Right on. So, I mean, instead of just doing your main job, you're multitasking, doing the job of 10 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we really have like 30 minutes to, like, if we get introduced in the challenge in the shop, they literally just give us 30 minutes to draw it out. And then after that, your time starts. So if you don't have an idea in 30 minutes, it's like, create this like wonderful, crazy character in 30 minutes. Go. It's like, it's tough. It's really tough, but it's fun. Like, I just love story and I love creating characters. So it was almost like Christmas every day for me.
So the pressure was on. Did any one challenge come close to actually making you crack and feel like you couldn't do it?
Yeah. There was a couple. Let's see. So the season 7, the tree challenge with the weeping willow. We didn't have enough time to R&D the branches and they got too heavy for the model, so they had to take them off, and which was totally unfortunate because that was the whole point of the character, is to be hidden in these branches. So it's like you just saw all of the flaws that were supposed to be hidden with like weepy willow branches. That one was tough. The Kaiju Challenge season 7. Seriously, I can't believe that I made an entire creature suit, the Yeti crab, in 16 hours. Like I sculpted a face, a cowl, and it like completely fabricated an entire body in just 16 hours. It's like blows my mind.
It blows everybody's mind.
It's incredible to me how you did the bug infestation though on the weeping willow. That was that was really realistic.
Right on.
Let's see, Team Joe Castro. I don't know what.
you don't want to touch that one. Just skip. We'll skip talking about Joe Castro.
All right, Dustin, behave. I think this picture would have actually broken the internet if I would have seen it the original day. This is awesome. What is going on here? And when was this?
It was at Kamikaze maybe 4 years ago or something. God, Elvira never ages. Like she's just like beautiful all the time. I don't know how she does it. I think she said she's pickled in vodka once or something, and I thought that was really funny. But yeah, that's Ranny. She's a Franken Lady. And we thought it'd be really funny if I went as the groom of Franken Lady, and instead of having the hair, just have the beard. Hey, buddy, that's Tupac Shakur. We love puns. Our whole life is puns. Yeah, we have a corgi, and his name is Tupac Shakur. He also has
I
an
want to
Instagram.
see him.
Awesome.
Yeah, he has an Instagram. Randy makes she makes all kinds of costumes for him and stuff. Actually, I think I'm sitting on a pillow of it. Yeah, there you go. He's Tupacula. If you can see that. She made a wig and like sewed the thing.
Oh my god!
And on the other side here, she turned her into Corgan Lannister from Game of Thrones. She like actually like sewed that and did all the embroidery.
Oh my god, this is goals. Like that's my new goal in life is to have a corgi and dress them up. That's adorable.
That is spectacular. And I'm going through pictures again, and it just seems like the pictures of you winning, they didn't get some of the best shots of you, and some of them just being awestruck. And
Man.
Did you know ahead of time that you won, or was it boom right then and there?
No, it was. Yeah, we found out right then. It was crazy because I'd been there before on season 7, just standing there, and like my heart was beating so hard. Like all I could hear, because I could see behind, like for the night challenge, or whatever. There was the screen behind Glenn, and it was like it had all the his lines and stuff that he was saying, and the winner of Face Off is, and I just see ... and I'm just like boom, 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 boom. And they said Dina won, and there was supposed to be these like giant flames that shot up, but they screwed up, so they actually had to shoot it like 3 different times. So like Dina had to like act like she just found out she won again, and meanwhile like me and Drew are up there like as the losers having to relive this moment multiple times. But, like Dina totally deserved that win. Like her makeups were phenomenal for the finale makeups. But so this, for All-Star season, it's so funny because I don't know if I can curse. I'll skip the curse.
Yeah,
words,
you can.
But,
it's good.
So, on the show, like soon as they announce the winner, you hear music and everything like that, and for some reason I thought music was going to play, but there was no music playing, and it was just you could hear a pin drop, and I'm just like, I'm in the middle of saying holy shit like so loud, and everybody's just staring at me, and then my brain just broke, and it was one of the most like surreal moments of my life. Like it's just I couldn't even speak. Yeah. And then next thing I know, I'm on George's shoulder or something. And like he's like running me around. But he was a good friend. He put my hat back on, and I appreciate that because it fell off.
And the hat's important.
It is.
Definitely.
I never wanted to be a hat guy, but then I started losing my hair. I used to be the crazy hair guy, but now I'm a hat guy because I'm going.
Well, see, that's one thing I admired about you was your hats and the way you were able to create your beard and mustache, and I was just like, damn, I'm envious of this guy.
It got thicker down here. At least I got I can grow a pretty sweet beard. I'll say that. I'm happy about that. Grow out my hair, and I look like Bill Murray from Kingpin. Is it when he has like the
Nice.
weird wispy hair? Yeah, it's like I try it's like trying candy corn at least once a year. I'm like, maybe I'll like it this time, so I grow my hair out, and nope, it's never.
Like Pete.
Yeah, wispy and terrible.
I'm gonna hit a few more comments from the audience, and Dustin is saying he saw her right before her birthday this year. I'm assuming that's Elvira.
Nice.
And this is one of your friends, Danny.
Courtney.
Oh, thanks, Courtney.
And I agree 100%. What else we have?
Yeah, she freaked out when I said we were going to have Cig on the show. She was like, no, I love face off.
Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, no, it's our pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. And Danny was saying at one point, we have people on the show that are in front of the camera. We need more people that are behind the camera, and they need more credit. Do you recall that conversation, Danny?
Yeah. I actually think I think it really blew my mind when I actually got to meet Tom Savini. I went down to Mad Monster in Phoenix this last July, and I had him sign Bub, the Days of the Dead poster, and I was shaking, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's a legend. And I came back and I was like, it's so often that when you think of a horror movie, you think of the actors or even the director, but you don't think of the special effects and the stunt men and women who are behind it. And they make the films. I mean, that's what made, all pretty much horror films. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, it's, there's so many people like working on set and stuff. You just see the sheer amount of people that they have doing different things to bring this film to life. And it takes a whole army of people to do that. And yeah, it's pretty cool that, Face Off brought away, when I was a kid, I had to watch the behind the scenes on like DVDs or like read Fangoria or something, and then like try to pause it and see what they're using and stuff. But like nowadays you have YouTube and you have like shows like Face Off, and it like shows you how to like shines a light on the industry. But like before it was like really hard to see, like find any info on anybody that behind the scenes. But it's
Do you remember the point in your life where you were like, this is what I'm gonna do, I wanna work in special effects?
Yeah, I was super young, and I was watching Child's Play, I think, and I asked my mom how they pulled off like the murder scenes, and she told me, no, it's fake. It's just ketchup. The blood is ketchup. And I was like, wait, there's somebody that their job is just throw ketchup on people for horror films? Okay, where do I sign up? So it's really the only thing that I've ever wanted to do. I used to get in trouble all the time in school for drawing monsters, but my mom, who's I think is still in the chat, was super supportive of me. One of the defining moments of my life was this teacher was trying to fail me because I used to just draw monsters. I wasn't a bad student, but I did probably draw too much. And she called in my mom thinking that she was gonna I was gonna get in trouble. Like the teacher was like, I'm worried about Brandon. All he does is draw monsters. And my mom's just standing there and she's like, so maybe one day he'll be the next Stephen King. And then the teacher just had no idea what to say. Like she just in that simple statement, like shut her down. And that was that was awesome. And she's always been supportive of my weirdness.
That's so awesome. I have a 5-year-old who's in kindergarten, and he draws Jason Voorhees on literally everything. Like he wants to be Kane Hodder in the worst way. So I get calls from the teacher constantly, like, "What do you let your kid watch?" I'm like, "Nothing. He figures it out on his own."
I think it's very important for us all to embrace our weirdness, and especially encourage the younger generation to be weird. Like,
yes.
It's not a bad, like weirdness is it's just my goal to leave this world a little bit more bizarre than when I found it. And if I accomplish that, I'm happy.
I love that. That is so awesome.
And yes, Sharon said embrace them. So she's still sticking around. I got some other comments down here, and trying to figure out who Brandon is.
Oh, that's my Christian name.
I I was kidding. You're the one who said it. So
Yeah, no, it's funny because everyone's like, don't move out to the wicked city of LA. You're gonna end up like changing your name and like do it and like, crap, I did end up doing that, huh? But I don't hate my real name, but it's Brandon Dishman, and I don't hate it. But I came up with Cig Neutron when I started showing in art galleries, and I just wanted like a fun, sleazy sci-fi artist name, and for the longest time, I would actually still be going by Brandon, but I would be showing my pieces, and they're like, "Well, then who's this Cig Neutron guy?" And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll just start going by Cig," and like, so it made it easier. But yeah.
So can I ask where the name derived from, or?
Yeah, it's like horribly unexciting, but
okay, fair enough.
I was just trying to come up with names, and then I was like, this was back when I was actually a habitual smoker. And I came up with like Cig Neutron, and I was like, "Oh, that's fun, right?" My first artist name was the Thrill Craze Space Kid because it was from Teenagers from Outer Space. It was the tagline for the movie Thrill Craze Space Kids on a Ray Gun Rampage. So that was like, but I don't know. Being Space Kid forever was like, I'm too old for the name Space Kid, I guess. So I have Cig Neutron, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I wish there was something else. I'm like smoking a cigarette, and like, what else? What sounds like fig, but would be like sleazy and cool? And Cig Neutron. Okay, it's pretty much it. It makes no sense.
Right on. Well, no, but it was effective in some form of fashion.
By like the second or like the first episode, people actually knew my name from the show, but they were like making fun of me, like, look at this like hipster guy with his weird hats, just clawing for attention. And I was like, I used to get some hate, like mad hate, on season 7 when I first went on there, but I thought it was funny, and yeah, and then like slowly it changes. Like, actually, wait, he's pretty cool. He does cool work, but like, yeah, people like thought just this weird hipster in the beginning.
That's awesome. I mean, the hats on season 7 also. Did you have anything to do with the designing of those? Or?
Yeah. And my only regret is I didn't have time to make a bunch new ones for All Stars, because like everybody always like saw a lot of comments. They're like, "What hat's he gonna wear this time?" And like I was excited, but I didn't have any time to make new hats, so I felt like I let everybody down on All Star season.
That's okay. You won it, so it doesn't matter. I'm looking over some of the comments again, and so Dustin says his best work was in ketchup. So that's going back to the ketchup thing.
Right
on. Right on. Wow. Jillian, so glad you have Cig on your show. Hi, Cig.
Thank you. What's up, Gillian?
Gillian. See, I don't know how to pronounce.
Well, it's so I do a lot of Twitch streaming now.
Okay.
That's like my main thing that I do now. Well, I mean, I'm already working on stuff anyways, so I just stream it. And Gillian's one of the people who always hangs out in my Twitch chat. It's my Twitch fam, and it's funny because I say like I talk to them more than I talk to my real life friends, because I'm just like, I'll stream for like 8 hours a day just working, and we just talk about life and stuff and how everybody's doing, and it's pretty cool. It's like I've made a lot of great friends on Twitch.
Awesome. We got Scott, who is a friend of our show. What would be your dream TV show to head up the SFX department on?
I'd say Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Yeah, I'm wearing an Ash vs. Evil Dead shirt today.
Nice.
Love that show.
Yeah, it's so good. So sad it got canceled. But also, like, you read Bruce Campbell's comments about it, right?
There's like a video game going around.
Yep. I think they're working on it. But it got canceled because everybody just pirated the show. And if people don't pay for the show, then there's, you can't sustain a show that everybody just pirates, so it's kind of the fans' fault if everybody loved it so much, like, maybe pay for it.
That was on the Stars Network, and I would see that. To me, it's kind of like nobody has cable anymore, so Stars is kind of I don't know if they have a standalone. I don't recall, or if it could be an Amazon add-on.
Man, Amazon's going to take over the world. Like, you could just pay for like an HBO subscription or whatever, like Showtime, Stars, and also get same-day delivery. Are you kidding me?
Like, no, not where I live. We do not have same-day. I live in Alaska. We don't. It's still by dog sled up here. I swear to God. But I have cable, and they dropped AMC and Stars off my cable. I was so mad. I'm like, that's why I pay for it.
Yeah, it's. I guess cable's not even necessary anymore.
No.
I don't know. This lovely woman keeps commenting, and I got to bring them up. So.
Funny. So actually, I worked with my friend Andrew Bowser, and he did a Funny or Die skit that actually was promoting the new season of Ash vs. Evil Dead, and Randy and I actually got to spray Bruce Campbell in the face with blood, and it was like, I was geeking out. Like, so I was so nervous. I'm like holding the rig. I'm like shaking, and like he saw, like, I should have been wearing gloves. And like when I mixed the blood, and but my hands were all red. He's like, that blood's gonna stain me. I know. Look at his hands. Look at his hands. It's gonna stain me. And I'm like, oh my God! I just want him to just call me a primitive screwhead. like this guy. But like, I kind of got like a cosmic. Like, I promise. Like, no, it's not gonna stain you. And he's like, yeah, I've heard that before. And I'm like, but okay. But
it's like my goal.
I
think it's like every fan's goal in life to get roasted by him at least once.
Right.
Like, I'm going to see him in May in Texas for Frightmare, and I'm like, I just want to go to a panel and ask a dumb question. Like, that's my goal.
And I have to post this comment just because it says my name. Sorry. I had to. And thank you, Sharon. And the amount of comments we get, if I pulled all of them up, it would just be too complicated. So looking over my pictures, and another one that stood out to me, hydration is very important.
It is.
I gotta ask about Satan Soap too before we get to
it. Well, okay, by all means, go ahead.
Like, I gotta hear about the Satan Soap.
Yeah, so I have no religion or anything. I'm not a Satanist. But me and Randy thought it'd be really funny. We actually came up. It was a new product for the next Bizarro Go-Go 2. We came up with the soap company Rub-a-Dub Beelzebub, and we just make satanic soaps just because we think it's really funny. And so I sculpt them and I mold them, and then Randy, she's a certified aromatherapist, and she like scents them and adds all the coloring and stuff like that. So yeah, and she got into like making mustache waxes and like all kinds of fun stuff. And we also have Poo What Thou Wilt spray, where it's like it's poopery. You just spray it before you go. It's funny, like trying to sell that at conventions, because it's like, hey, just met you guys. Now we're going to talk about poop. You want a spray that makes your poop not smell bad? They're like, no. I think we'd make a lot more. We sell a lot more online, because like nobody wants to like openly admit, yeah, okay, sure, I'll take this spray that I have stinky poops. I don't know. But,
and we can get that on your website, because I definitely want to buy like everything that you just talked about.
Yeah, we have our Etsy shop. It's I think it's still set to vacation. We've been pretty busy, and like if we're gonna have it open, I want to try to like make stuff for people, like, because it's all like made to order. So we try to like make it as soon as possible. But since we've been so busy, we put up. But we're probably gonna have it back up pretty soon, because the holidays are coming. So yeah, it's just is it? Well, I guess, yeah, you can go to bizarrogogo.com, and that should have the link to our shop.
That is so awesome. Are you going to be at any upcoming conventions here in the near future?
Yeah, this weekend we're going to be at TwitchCon, because we did the Mother Brain. We entered the Twitch cosplay contest, and we got accepted. So yeah, I'm super excited, because we got a 3-day pass for TwitchCon, so we'll be there all 3 days.
For those that don't know, Mother Brain, Metroid, these guys did a phenomenal job, and I'm sorry I didn't bring pictures of that. Unfortunately, man, I'm kicking myself in the butt right now. I saw those pictures, but spectacular from Captain N, Mother Brain style from the animated show. I may be showing my age right now.
Dude, Captain N, the Game Master, was like such a wonderful, obscure cartoon that I don't think a lot of people know about. But they took all the Nintendo characters and put them in a cartoon show, and it was amazing. And Mother Brain was so wacky and ridiculous. Like, she didn't look anything like the Mother Brain from the video game. And also, they made Simon Belmont a real douchebag, which is unfortunate because, like, I thought Simon Belmont was awesome, except in the cartoon show, he's like a womanizing, terrible person. It's like,
with the blonde hair and
yeah. He's like, look at me, I'm Simon Belmont. It's like, no, that's not Simon.
Right. They're doing a much better version in Netflix right now with the Castlevania show animated series.
Oh, dude, I was way into that, and I guess that's kind of a spoiler. Well, it's been long enough. By the end of it, it's like that's when Alucard shows up, and I was just like, the whole time we're all right, okay, when's he gonna show up? And then once they team up, like, all right, end of the season. No.
Right. Yeah, it was entirely too short. So hopefully the new season
coming soon, right?
Right. I think Friday, and so I'm definitely hoping it's going to be an extended season, not just I don't know. I think it was 8 episodes or something. It was short,
something like that. But they were only like 20 minutes or something. It was like real short.
But it left you wanting more for the Castlevania fans out there.
And it's pretty rad because they paint a deeper picture of Dracula too. You kind of feel bad for him. Like, he's not really a bad guy. Well, and I mean, he turned into a bad guy, but like, he has reasons to be bad. Nobody's just evil for no reason. Well, maybe people are. I don't know. But
I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but what they did to his wife, holy crap.
Yeah, that'll turn anybody against humanity. So I like stories that like you understand why the villain is a villain. I think that gives it a whole depth of,
But see, now I'm all on the Mother Brain thing. So who came up with that and why? I mean, it's just awesome.
We were trying to figure out what we were going to do. We were thinking maybe like a Tyrannid, or what was some of our other ideas? I really want to turn Randy into Danny Trejo one of these days. Randy Trejo. Like, he just has such a great character face that it'd be really fun to sculpt. But yeah, and then I was just like, wait, Mother Brain. Why do we do Mother Brain? And yeah, that's what we decided to go with. It's perfect because, like, I don't know, like, a lot of my whole style, I say that I call it like cartoony realism. It's very heavily inspired by like the work in like Freaked. If you've ever seen the movie Freaked.
Absolutely.
It's like over the top. It's like cartoony proportions, sort of like Big Daddy Roth, like his style, just drippy, gooey, over the top monsters, and also like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, like the work that they like the Kyoto brothers. Their faces are really exaggerated, but it's still like it's treated with like realistic like textures and paint jobs, and yeah, it's kind of like, I guess that's my style. And I was making a point that I've forgotten what I was making, but
it's all good.
Yeah.
And I was making the point also, but I'm starting to look at comments. See, I have to make that funny face and make that noise when I'm looking at comments to scan. Thank you, Joe. My co-host is supposed to be backing me up.
Yeah, I can't hear you. I think you just killed your mic.
I hit the mute.
What do you have to say to people who are looking to get into special effects? What would be your best advice?
Yeah, I get asked that a lot when I do, like, I speak at like schools and conventions and stuff. And, I guess like I don't sugarcoat it. Like, it's any creative industry, it's tough and it could be cutthroat, and it's a lot about networking, and being a good person and a hard worker is just as important as like your skill. And I would say Yeah, it's tough, but if it's something that you really want to do, don't let anything stop you because everybody told me I wasn't going to make it, and I came out here and like I'm really happy with where I'm at in life, and I wouldn't know the people that I know, I wouldn't have done the things that I've done if I listened to all the naysayers. And you just got to find your own way in life because for all we know, it's all we got.
It's very cool. I got Dustin, who I have to monitor because some of his stuff is inappropriate. I'm kidding, Dustin. No, I'm really not, though. I don't know if this means something to you or not, but I think Cig wins the exploding squib battle, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I
All right, fair enough.
I won.
Was there a certain way that you had to learn how to handle critique? I mean, that's got to be has to be so difficult to put so much work and effort into something and then have so many people share their opinion on it, especially when they're not necessarily artists themselves.
Yeah, it's you just have to I don't know, I feel like if you like think that you're perfect and what you do is perfect, then you'll never grow as an artist because perfection it's unattainable. We always work towards it, but nobody's ever going to be perfect. Your work's not going to be perfect. And like you just put your ego aside and accept like an outside perspective on your own work. And like you don't have to take it to heart and you always don't have to agree with it, but you just have to like I enjoy critiques and I like talking about art with other people and like constructive criticism. I think is the best. That's how we improve ourselves. So I don't know. I've just never had a problem being critiqued because, like I said, it's just you find something in each critique, no matter if they're an artist or not. We all have eyeballs, and you can take something away from that each time and improve your own art.
I really like that. I mean, that's you don't really think about that, especially from this side of it. And where can we find you? You said you were going to the Comic-Con this coming weekend. Do you have any that are scheduled further out that you signed on to?
Not that I know of right now. Yeah, I think TwitchCon is the only one I got coming up. Oh well, and we do Monster Palooza and Son of Monster Palooza like every year, so you can always find us there.
Awesome! I'm gonna try to come down next year.
You should. It's great.
All right, and I did have another question for you. I'm trying to think. I was going to talk to you about the thing, and then you brought it up before I had a chance to ask you about it. I thought that was pretty cool. Are there any other big horror films that stick out in your mind that really influenced you?
I think House 2 is one of my favorite horror films of all time, actually. It's the 1970, I think it was 77 that it came out. It's just a super wacky bananas horror film that I don't even know if I can describe it. You just have to see it. But it's House 2, and I actually have the cat tattooed on my arm right here. I don't. Is that there? I guess I'm not sure if my camera is just.
Oh yeah, I could see it.
Okay, yeah. It's super crazy and it's worth it. And it's actually it got the Criterion collection. It got put out via that. I bought a bootleg copy of it a long time ago. I just needed it in my life. But yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. So can you tell us where we can find you on social media?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much at Cig Neutron on everything. Instagram, Twitter. I think it's the Sleazy Universe of Cig Neutron is my Facebook page. My personal page, they have that 5,000 friend limit thing, so I can't add any more people on there. So if you want to find me on Facebook, Cig Neutron, Sleazy Universe, or the Sleazy Universe of Cig Neutron, I guess. I was going to change it just to Cig Neutron, but once you get so many likes, you can't change it. I don't know. That's irrelevant, but.
Yeah, I noticed that you have that 5,000 cap. I know a lot of people are just going to have a lot of celebrities have just pages anymore. They don't even actually have their a private one anymore.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Twitch, I would say that's like the twitch.tv/Cig Neutron. That's pretty much, I haven't done any streaming as lately because I've been busy, but yeah, I'm usually on there streaming sculpting, mold making, video games, and it's kind of like this, just hang out and talk to people. So twitch.tv/Cig Neutron.
That is so awesome. I'm trying to think of. I did have a couple more questions for you. Do you have a preferred a style between horror and like sci-fi, or is it just kind of a mold between the two?
Yeah, I think my favorite genre is like horror comedy. I just love like the mashup of the two, and just anything over the top. I'm all about it.
I didn't even think about that, like Christmas with Cookie kind of.
Oh yeah. That was a fun one.
That is so awesome.
George brought me in on that one. I just assisted doing the cookies makeup.
And I'm trying to look over some comments here too. I'm not sure that I can pull them up, but I can read them. Ryan Rader wants to know, what's the new cosplay coming?
I'm not sure what we're gonna do next. Oh, actually, I think I really want to start working on She Bop and Rock Sexy, because I did this sculpted maquette of gender bent Bebop and Rocksteady from Ninja Turtles, and I'm gonna turn Ranny and our friend Sin into She Bop and Rock Sexy. We do a photo shoot and stuff. It's gonna be fun.
That's so awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait to see Danny Trejo like that.
I need to get started on that for sure. I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and I just don't.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Gillian said Twitch rules. I'd never actually heard of Twitch before, so that's first time I've ever even heard of it. Of course, I live, super far away.
Yeah, it started with mainly like video games, like people just streaming themselves playing games, and then they open it up to creative streamers too. So now people like paint and sculpt and all kinds of stuff on there.
That is so awesome. Scott Lake said Alex Winters did a great job with Breat.
Sure did.
Do you have any thoughts on as of like movies that have come lately that you think they could have benefited a little bit more from special effects?
I didn't. Not any that I can think of. Oh, I just saw the premiere of Dead Squad last night, which was really fun. You guys should check it out. My friend Amazon Eve, she was in it. She was, if you saw the American Horror Story Freak Show season, she was the tall lady in the Freak Show.
Oh, okay.
And she plays like one of the villains in that movie, and it was really fun. It was super entertaining and fun. Like the gore was great. But yeah, I don't know. I just wish they would stop making superhero movies with CG people. It's super, like, it's not super easy, but we can make superhero suits and they look cool. Like, I don't know why everybody's like the Green Lantern. I think I was about to work on that, and then they just decided, no, we're gonna do the whole suit in green screen or CG. So we don't need a practical suit, which is weird. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Have you seen the new Halloween yet that just came out?
No, I haven't. But also, like, to be like straight up honest, I'm not a big fan of the Halloween films.
Really?
I understand. Yeah, like I appreciate their I appreciate their existence, and they were iconic and groundbreaking and things when they came out. But it's just I don't know. Michael Myers was always just a boring villain to me. I was more like way into like Freddy, and even Jason's kind of boring to me. But I'm total Freddy Krueger guy because he's just so ridiculous. Dream Warriors, come on, that's so good.
I got the chance to talk to him briefly in Phoenix, and it was incredible. It was awesome to get to talk to him. Did you have any sci-fi films that stick out that were made a big impact on you?
Enemy Mine. Have you ever seen that one?
I have not. To be
man.
honest, I haven't been as much into sci-fi. I'm starting to get into it as recently.
Gotta watch Enemy Mine, and like if anyone can make it through that film without crying, then you're inhuman. Like it's basically like there's like a war between these aliens happening, and it's in the future, and then an alien and a human crash land on this planet, and then they both like have to survive together, so they learn stuff about each other, and then yeah, it's a good one.
That's incredible. And you brought up a really good point with CGI in a lot of like the superhero movies. You know, I'm so used to thinking about CGI as far as horror goes, but you really don't think about it as much when it comes to you know, Marvel and DC and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of people are saying they love. Dustin said he loved Enemy Mine. Trying to think. It's hard to be scared of a dude in a Captain Kirk mask.
I mean, he does have a creepiness about him. I guess it just, I don't know, it just doesn't speak to me. But that is funny. You know that story, right? As the mask is actually a William Shatner mask that they just spray painted white for the original.
Ever since I saw that meme on the internet of Mariah Carey, that's all I can see now is just
also,
Mariah
yeah,
Carey.
I saw that. Yeah, that's
Deborah Hudson said, watched Enemy Mine all the time with my dad, and it was an awesome film. Wow, I have to check that out. I haven't seen that, and I also I know a lot of people are talking about Event Horizon lately, and I have never seen that one. So I think that's
also really good too. Yeah,
that's going to be another one on my list. Oh, can you talk a little bit about the Sweaty Special Effects Nerds? I was able to watch your guys' show on Rick Baker, An American Werewolf in London. Is that still going? Is that something you guys are still doing?
No, I guess we just kind of like filmed like I guess like a season of it, and yeah, it's not a thing anymore. But it was a lot of fun. It was like anytime I get to like geek out over like the effects of films and stuff, and I actually like I learned a lot more because John sent me the list of films he wanted to talk about, and like I actually done some more research into like the effects about it, and like the steps in Nightmare on Elm Street when they turn like she falls through them. That was actually like colored oatmeal. They like painted on it, and that's bloop when she like fell into the stairs. I thought that was really interesting.
Oh, I had no idea. That is so cool. That's amazing. How did you get into Tom Savini's school? I mean, is that something you had to kind of apply and wait for, or was it a pretty long process?
There was I had to take some kind of aptitude test, which was just a really easy, like common sense test, which was weird. And yeah, that was pretty much it. It was pretty easy.
That's incredible. Did you get to work alongside him quite often while you were there?
He came into the school a couple times, and every once in a while, and he'd like do some demos and stuff. So he was around, but mainly it's just like all the other teachers that teach.
That's really, really cool. All right. Well, is there anything else that's coming up for you here in the near future? Any other projects you're working on that you can talk about?
Oh, hey, there he is. Maybe. I don't really have anything going on besides TwitchCon right now. We'll see where things go after that.
Can't hear you, Joe.
Can't hear me. Okay. Guys, I apologize. The program I'm running, not on my end. The program I'm running, it's a program. I apologize. But I heard everything that was going on. And Cig, social media, where can we find you?
Pretty much at Cig Neutron on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch.tv/Cig Neutron is like the main thing that I'm focusing on right now. So I would say definitely give me a follow on the Twitch.
Absolutely. And we got Sharon. I love Sharon. And thank you, everybody, for understanding. Unfortunately, it was a program glitch. It was nothing on Obscure and Unscripted. And I do apologize for the lag there. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Danny, any last words?
Nope, that's everything for me.
All right, Cig, any last words? Again, I appreciate you coming on. We had a blast.
We had so much fun. Thank you.
Wasn't it cool as hell?
Yeah,
with the exception of Me bowing out. Sorry.
No worries. No, thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun, and you guys are awesome. So thank you.
Thank you.
We greatly appreciate it. Stick with us for one moment, Cig, after the broadcast. And good night, guys. Everybody, again, thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you all.